Bring in the sand, good livestock, equine bloodlines and pro cutting horse trainers, boots and hats. Letterbuck Pro Services Southern Western Trails is back. The newest Southern Hemisphere Western Sports Update program. Episode 7, we sit down with the pro cutting horse trainer Jackson Gray, who has placed his mark on the cutting industry all the way from the ranks of juniors, a non-pro national champion, an NCHA Finals Novice Finals champion, a finalist in many different futurities. We'll learn all about his beginnings, the futurity horses, the Sunkist Quarter Horse Stud, where he is the resident trainer, and advice for our viewers and our up-and-coming trainers. Episode 7 is brought to us by, and please like all these businesses' social media pages, MLR Equine Supplies, distributor of the Pro Cutter Mechanical Cow Systems, Kelly Condon from Bobberg Designs, Craftsmanship Lifetime Guarantee, Cinch Australia, Lead Don't Follow, Mavericks Western Wear offers an after-pay service. Ask about a photo book from Liz Speed Photography. Jamie and Ella can offer you amazing futurity prospects. Big Country Toys Australia, realistic, affordable and durable. Impact Gel New Zealand, contact the team on Facebook. The new season full schedule is on the website of the NZRCA. Need some custom-made chaps? Shoot for rodeo gear. Check out the schedule of the clinics and training days of the Southern Cross Extreme Cowboy Racing. Need your next business photo shoot? Natwick Tapanui, standing at stud this breeding season. Hellblazer, Matt Oakley Cutting Horses. Need your fencing done? Bush Tech Limited. The new dates of the NZRCA, the Mad Bull Rodeo Series are online. Feel like delicious hot spud? Running on hot spuds and coffee. Imagery Magic and official rodeo photographer. Donna is ready to assist you with a Hunaway pup. The D&J Bucking Bulls are ready to entertain you. Pull in for a stop at the Pink Glider Cafe. Need your next aerial shot? Aerial and sports photography. QBRA have plenty of events to check out before their finals. Need a photographer for your next equine event? Rodeo NZ South. Talk to Troy and Lisa about your next custom saddle. Purchase a photo from Dave Athel Photos. Best live stream team in the business. Wild Colt Productions. Let's ride. Welcome viewers to episode 7 of Letterbuck Pro Services Southern Western Trails, the newest Western Sports Update program in the Southern Hemisphere. My name is Brent Cann, Western Sports Announcer and Music Director. Thank you once again for the wonderful comments about the episodes, and welcome to all the new men and women who have liked my business page, and I hope you enjoyed hearing from all these very talented Western sports athletes and businessmen, women on the show. Today we sit down here in Perga, Queensland at the Sunkist Quarter Horse Stud with a man who has worked his way up through the ranks of the cutting industry, the 2008 NCHA Non-Pro National Champion, 2018 NCHA National Finals $5,000 Novice Champion, Pro Trainer and Resident Trainer of the Sunkist Quarter Horse Stud, Mr. Jackson Gray. Welcome, Jackson, to episode 7.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming down.
Now, Jackson, every Western sports athlete has their own unique story, how they've got to where they are now. Where did it all begin for you and your background?
My dad was a cutting trainer. Well, he started off, when I was a kid, he was a non-professional, trained his own cutting horses. And sort of as I grew up, I guess, I did pony club like everybody and that sort of thing. And we got into a bit of the quarter horse stuff. Mum sort of used to take me to a bit of, we did pleasure and trail, and same with my brother, he'd do that as well. And then we ended up going cutting. Like, we always had the horses there. Dad always trained really good horses. So we just, I think it actually started off, I watched Todd, when Todd won the Gold Cup on One More Spin in either 2000 or 2001. I think that was when I was like, I think I better give this a go, So that's kind of where we got going, I guess. And when I was a kid, we used to Mum and Dad were pretty supportive of trying to get me into everything I could possibly do. So we did. I used to play, I played a little bit of footy, and played the guitar, and then we had the horses as well. And it probably got to a point where I had to pick one, because we were, every day of the week we were nearly doing something, and I wasn't very good at football, and the guitar, it's sort of something that's always there, but the horses are what we went with. And shortly after that, Dad went handed in his non-pro card and started taking outside horses anyway, so we all went all in on that, really.
And actually, I brought it up over the microphone at one of the cuttings about how you represented Australia for the boys cutting at the National High School Rodeo Association finals in USA, not just once but twice. Tell us about those experiences and how you think that's helped you in big moments where you've had to perform.
Yeah, that was a really good opportunity. It was something Mum found out about it, I guess. Well, I think that's how it worked out. And my brother went the first time. He went to, I think, Farmington, when they had the finals in Farmington. And I remember our finals here, the cutting was only pretty new to. I think we were the only ones cutting at it, and then there was a couple of girls that were already rodeoing, and they came and they'd show some of our horses to qualify as well. One of them was Kate Benedict of KDB Western, and anyway, as it turned out, my brother went over and did pretty good, and then we both went over in 2004 or 5 or something like that. That was when it was in Gillette in Wyoming, and I think, I might have wound up 16th or something like that. They made the final, and my brother might have wound up about 7th or 8th, and then I went over again a couple of years later and showed a horse that an Aussie fella had trained over there, a Playgun mare. I actually shared it with Toledo Richards, who showed cutters. We were both showing in the youth at the time, and anyway, I think I wound up about 5th or 6th in the boys cutting finals thing over there that year. And there was a bunch of really good guys in it, like Adan Benuelos was shown in it, and Cody Headland, and there's Cade Smith and a bunch of guys that, Brandon Dufarina is another one, guys that have done well over there, whether it be in the pro ranks or the non-pro ranks. So it was pretty cool to show against them. But it was a really good experience, mate. I was probably not really old enough to get my head around it that much, but it was good fun. And we also we went and showed in that scholarship cutting as well. Terry Clifford let me show a horse that Russ Benson trained here and that had been exported over there. And so that, the same trip, I think that was the first time I went over. I got to show, that was the second time I went over. I got to show at Fort Worth in the scholarship youth at the Derby that they, I've had recently. So, it was a really good experience, mate.
And you worked for Phil Dawson, NCHA Futurity Champion, Dean Holden, also an Open Futurity Gelding Incentive Champion, both being both pro trainers, but both unique athletes and great sportsmen. What have you learned from these two, and how has it helped you competitively in the training industry?
Definitely a lot. I was only with Dowie for 12 months working for him, but I hung out with him a fair bit prior to that when he moved up to Tamworth. And Phil, I worked for Phil on and off for probably 3 years, sort of in my gap year between high school and uni, and then also when I was at uni at Armidale, because he was just at Inverell. And I still go to Phil's all the time. He's probably my biggest influence with the cutting. Mate, I've learned heaps. I need to learn a lot more still from him, but they both have a really good approach. They're hard working. Like Phil, one thing I worked out when I went to work for Phil, I was like, man, this guy can work hard, and he doesn't stop. He works extremely hard, and he's got a really good balance with what he does with his horses. He doesn't overdo it, he just chips away, backs himself, and Dowie was very much the same. So I just think any of those really good guys, they have a lot of similarities, but probably the big thing is they back themselves, because they're all a bit different, but they back what they do, and that shows up when they go and show their 3-year-olds for the first time or whatever. They don't look lost, they back what they do, whether it's 100% right or there's some little holes or whatever. You wouldn't know by looking at it.
Actually, coming across on the sports commentary side of things with those two athletes, they always look to me, they're very cool and calm, collective kind of athletes when they go into the ring, of the cutting ring.
Yeah, Definitely Doey's always sort of joking around. He was really so I didn't work for him for a very long time, but yeah, he was always really good to be around. He's a great attitude, and he doesn't. I don't think I ever saw him get real flustered. Don't get me wrong. He wanted to win. I remember him ringing up when I was there. I remember him ringing Winston Hansma, who he worked for in the States. To get advice with a 3-year-old. So he's always he wants to win, but yeah, he has a very relaxed approach, and and the same with Phil. I think the more Phil does it, the more he goes on, the more relaxed he is too, because he's doing a good job and he really backs himself. You could see, we went to Burrendown last weekend and he showed all his 3-year-olds there, and you could see it. They were really confident, and he was confident in what they were doing, and yeah, he just backs himself. And if it doesn't work, he doesn't panic. He just owns it.
In 2008, you were crowned the 2008 NCHA $10,000 non-pro national champion and the 2009 NCHA Open non-pro national reserve champion. Tell us about those seasons and what horses was there a few that year that you showed, and what bloodlines were they?
Yeah, they were really good. That was when I was part of it I was working full time for Phil Dawson, and the rest of it I was just travelling with him a bit. So he had a big influence on that. I'd kind of taken, a lot from what Dad had taught me, and then I took a horse that he trained, OJ Spinson. He was a spinny gelding he was pigeon-toed. He had one blue eye, and he was massive. And anyway, he was Dad had trained him, made the non-pro futurity final in 2002 or something like that, and he was really talented. But he'd learnt along the way as about a 5-year-old to run off pretty good. He'd leave out on a cow, and he was kind of a bit of a project horse for me. And by that stage, I'd sort of got him back, and I think those titles, that 10,000 title, I was travelling with Phil, and I kind of won that in the first 3 or 4 months, because I went up and won. I won at Wild Horse, got second in the Open Non-Pro when the money slid down at Paradise, and then won at Gracemere, and they were all big added money shows. And then I went down and won or got second at Bribery and Moss Vale, and so it was all over by May, I think, so that was pretty cool. And then the following year, same thing, I had a really good run of shows on OJ and got second in the Open Non-Pro title at Ian Bush. So that was really cool. That was sort of my first taste of winning something considerable, other than area stuff or winning local shows. To be consistent and to go and mark, that gelding I'd always mark 3s and 4s and the odd 5 on him, and he was really cool. So he's still one of the best horses I've ever ridden. So, but no, I remember when I won the first buckle at the finals. The following day there was a judges clinic or something that I went to, and I remember I had that buckle straight on the next day. So no, that meant a lot, and I know that means a lot to people now. The national title stuff, it's a little understated, but there's a lot of time and money invested into winning one of those. Actually, I remember Russ Benson saying one time, because he won a national title on, it was either Smart Little Tina or Jack's Envy Oak or something, and they asked him, I think he's showing somebody the buckle, this little shiny buckle, and someone said, how much did that, wonder how much that buckle cost? And he said, about 40 grand, because that's what it cost him to travel and enter that horse up everywhere. So anyway, no, they're really good things, that national title stuff, so I really enjoyed that.
Now we're here at the amazing Sunkist Quarter Horse Stud in Berger, Queensland. What bloodlines have you got here at the moment and in training, and can clients contact for purchases, and how?
I'll answer the last question first. Yes, they can. There's it's a good facility here. I've been here just over 8 years now, so I think I've been here sort of the longest of anyone before me, and I've had to. The strengths here is Barbara really, she'll invest, a lot of time and a lot of infrastructure and whatever, and a lot of commitment to breeding good horses and giving you the chance to train them. If anything, she's, sometimes when I'm thinking this one ain't good enough, she wants you to keep going. Like, she really believes in her stock, but she's got every right to do so, because like now she's got really good mares, and we've, I say we, I mean she's the one that's put the money into it and the time, but I've tried to guide her and get her to where she's got good horses. I think this season she's just going to breed 6 or 7 mares, and they're good mares that have produced or that have performed well. Like, say for example, I think 2 of her best mares are Cat of Nine Tails, which is a mare that finalled in the Futurity herself with Luke Lyons when he was here. I actually think Dowie started that horse, but that's a really good mare. She's got 2 siblings, like Shania Niner, and then there was another one that Quiggs finalled in the Futurity, and Aaron finalled Shania Niner. So she's a good mare herself. She performed well. She won, 11 or 12 grand. She didn't get shown that much, and she's produced 9 Shades of Ray, which was a Futurity finalist. There's a Kit Kat Sugar, I think it's called Call Me Sugar, that is out of her for this year that Leachy's got. Like, she's a really good mare. There's a couple Dill Smart Rays out of her on the ground. I think Leachy started one, the other one's will start next year. And then her other mare that is my favourite mare is she's got an old lethal mare called Bitsy Jabalina, who's a lethal out of Colonel's Destiny. And Colonel's Destiny, I think she's the best mare getting around. And that mare's produced, like when I got here, she hadn't probably been joined to the right horse, and that's what I tried to work on. The first one I trained out of her was Jimmy Fescue, which was a horse I made a classic final at Toowoomba, and I made the BI final on him, and he's a really talented gelding, and he's one that colicked before the Futurity, and he was, he missed a heap of time as a 3-year-old. So the whole thing was adversity, and he still turned out a good horse. And then she's also produced, Leachy had a WR, I think it's called This Cat, I guess it's a 3/4 to This Cat's Destiny. Anyway, he found him in the Futurity a couple of years ago, then sold him for good money at Landmark. Then I got a highbrow CD out of that mare for this year, and they just all want to cut, like they're good horses. And anyway, they're just 2 of the mares. She's got an Acres out of G.I. Jane that her files feel really good. Lincoln's got one, Lincoln Virat's got one for next year, and for the year after that, I started them, broke them in both, and they both felt like really good horses. Miss Blue Sue's a mare I trained for her when I got here. I'm riding her first file. It feels awesome. It's a 2-year-old. And then, she's got 9 Shades of Ray and Metallic Rose that have won quite a lot of money. And their first files are under saddle. Jason Leachy's got them now. So they're the mares, and then she's got another mare that's out of Rockin' Missy called Baroque, she drafted, and she was an open mare. And I think they're the mares she's going to centre it around now, those 7 mares, and they all go back to really good bottom sides, and they've performed or produced or both. So they're just horses you want to throw a leg over from here on in. So we had to work pretty hard to get onto that, and had to be cutthroat and, chop a few mares out that weren't producing, but that's how you get good horses, I guess.
And how can they contact the Sunkist Quarter Horse Stud?
Probably the best thing to do is jump on Facebook and look on there. Both Barbara Williams, who owns Sunkist, herself and myself, we both man that page, so we'll always contact somebody through there, or to contact me. But there's really good quality livestock here for sale, and whether that means you're looking for a trained horse, like a 3-4-year-old show horse, or whether you want a 2-year-old prospect or you want a baby, they're about. But that's probably the best way to either give me a call or to jump on the Facebook page.
And this year the NCHA Futurity will be held on the 27th October to the 8th of November. What horses are you going to be showing in their bloodlines, and is there one that you believe to watch out for, and why?
I don't know if there's any to watch out for. We'll see when we get there, I guess. But No, I've got a pretty good crew. We got to show them for the first time at Burren Down last weekend, and it was a pretty daunting debut because it was just it was windy and it was cold and there was the mob of cattle for 5 novice were, they were cattle in a pen, so they were good, but they were tricky cattle. But I had 3 horses really stand up and want to be there, so I was happy with that. And another one that was a bit crook, but I've got 4 and another one for the snaffle bit. The sun-kissed ones that, like I was saying, I got a highbrow CD out of Bitsy Jabalina. She's a really good little mare, just a trooper. She feels really solid, super easy to work, good-minded. She's pretty cool. I just feel like I can rely on her. And then I've got a Phalaris gelding that we own out of. So it's Emma's. It's out of a mare, a full sister to Foolicious that won the Futurity, but the mare's J Bar C Pepto's Little Darlings, her first foal. But that mare, Emma won 15 grand on her. Troy Randall trained her, and we showed her a bit, and she's a good mare in her own right. So it's her first foal, and he's a really nice gelding. He got sick on us out at Burren Down, and he still wanted to, rip through it. And we've got a full brother to Marilyn Munrock. It's been until our Rockin' Missy. It's her second last foal. He's a pretty hot little wild rooster, like they can be, but he feels really cool. He's the greenest one we got, and he went out there and probably showed better than any of it. And I got a little Phalaris mare that belongs to Wayne Brown, and she's a pretty sweet little mare too. And then we've got another one, a Sun-Kissed. It's a metallic Jaguar. We'll go to the snaffle bit.
And Jackson, you also got your own business, Jackson Gray Equa Services. Can you tell our viewers about your business's services?
Yeah, obviously being here, I'm allowed to take outside horses as well as riding Barbaras, and obviously we ride a couple of our own. I've had some, plenty of really good clients support me over the years. But same thing, we've got a Facebook page, anybody can contact me, and we sort of keep everything up to date on there. But obviously apart from training cutting horses and giving lessons and whatnot, as we all do, I've spent time writing stories. I studied at UNE, writing and publishing, I've fairly well versed in putting together stories and editorials and things, and can offer those services to promote studs and stallions and properties and whatever in our sport, and also I guess that and the training are probably my 2 focuses, and I guess probably through the NCHA they give us the opportunity to go judge as well. And, I'm the portfolio holder of the judging portfolio holder now too, so I try and pour a lot of time into that. And it's another thing. It's turned into a bit of a passion of mine. I really like judging, and I really like seeing it be done right.
Well, thank you, Jackson. We'll now hear from some Western Sports supportive businesses.
MLR Equine Supplies is your Australian distributor for Pro Cutter mechanical cow systems. For 35 years, Pro Cutter has been and continues to be the world-leading manufacturer of mechanical cow training systems. Horses trained on Pro Cutters have won the most prestigious events in every cow horse discipline, including cutting, rein cow horse, sorting, cant drafting, ranch horse, and a host of others. From starting 2-year-olds to tuning your next world champion, whether beginning rider or a seasoned professional, we offer a full Pro Cutter lineup designed to complement each individual needs. Choose the model that is right for you, then get into the winner's circle. Ask about our in-stock Pro Cutter units and a large range of accessories and parts. Visit MLR Equine Supplies on Facebook and shoot Megan and Cameron a message, or visit our website www.mlrequine.com.au for our full contact details. Welcome to the Australian and New Zealand gateway of Bob Berg Designs. Thank you for your visit. Proudly handcrafted since 1976, we can handcraft and deliver your very own special piece within 35 days. Whether you're looking to have a one-off crafted piece handmade or a whole number of items crafted, we can help you. We invite you to browse our range on our USD website at www.bobbergdesigns.com, or please feel free to browse our Australian Facebook page. Kelly is our Director of Australian Sales and she is ready to assist you anytime on 04 58 72 7844. Send a PM or email kelly.bobbergdesigns@gmail.com. Our wide range of custom-made designs includes belt buckles, jewellery, pocket knives, appreciation travel cups, spurs, unique trophies and much more. Bob Berg Designs, the home of the craftsmanship lifetime guarantee. Buckle up with Bob.
Welcome back to Southern Western Trails. I'm here with pro trainer, cutting athlete and resident trainer of the Sunkist Quarter Horse stud, Jackson Gray. It's giveaway time for one lucky viewer to receive a giveaway pack. To be in the next draw, please like and share this episode and also Letterbuck Pro Services and you will go into the draw, and that will be announced on episode 8. Make sure you like the Cinch Australia page and get yourself some Cinch jeans and shirts today. Please like Kelly Condon from Bob Berg Designs Facebook page and order some amazing products also. Order your cinch gear from Mavericks Westerwear and like MLR Equine Supplies and check out their Pro Cutter mechanical cow systems. But our winner of liking sharing episode 6 is Clayton Lane. Congratulations, Clayton. And a prize pack will be coming your way. We'll now learn more about Jackson. So, your favourite futurity throughout the year?
It's funny, I asked somebody that question. Conor Barada asked him that question a while ago. He said, Tamworth, it's got to be the NCHA futurity. It's pretty prestigious. But actually, probably for me, I love Comet. Comet's awesome. It's just good fun. It's got a good vibe about it. So I might just say Comet.
And favourite idol?
Probably, I might say two. I really like with, if we're talking about cutting, I really like to watch Matt Miller's horses. I reckon I love the way he sits and the way he rides, so probably that guy, the way he seems to go about things. And if we're just talking about athletes in general, Jake Trebojevic, the lock for the Manly Sea Eagles.
Biggest payout in cutting and where?
For me, probably, I don't know, I've had to work pretty hard to get all my little checks together to get to where I am. I'm still in the limited, so I've still won just under $100,000, but it'd have to be some of the national finals things. When I won that, I think that novice I won on Metallic Rose at the finals a couple of years ago, that was a massive novice. It was like 80 in it or something like that, and I think that paid almost, I think nearly $3,500 or something like that. So yeah, I haven't won too many big ones, but plenty of decent ones.
Favourite cutting horse and why?
I'm going to cheat again, say two. I'll do here and I'll do in the States. The horse I really liked to watch show in the States, I thought it was outstanding, was that PG Heavily Armed. He was pretty wicked. And then probably my favourite horse to watch show, or has been for a long time, in the current era, is Sort of Smooth. I reckon he's outstanding, big, strong, he just looks wicked.
Highest score in cutting?
I think for me, I got a 75.5 on Accelerator a few years ago out at North Star.
Was there a particular horse in the cutting you wanted to compete on and why?
Do you mean sort of like when I was a kid, like a horse that? Yeah. Well, you'd probably have to say. I used to, when I was a kid, I liked watching the guys I really liked to watch, which was good because I've got to learn a fair bit off them too. Were Rob Hodgman and Robert Mackay, and Robbie had a gelding called EB's Kaikuya. That was he was really cool. So probably him.
Favourite sport outside Western sports?
It'd be a dead heat between rugby league or the supercars.
Favourite singer?
Probably say Gary Allen. Big Gary Allen fan.
Hobbies?
I don't know. Probably don't have too many. I don't know. Lincoln and I play a bit of touch footy on Monday night, but I don't know. But probably, I don't know. I probably spend my time, if I'm not riding horses or like working horses, and probably watching something to do with cutting, or listening to a podcast, or watching something about cutting or cow horse, or trying to watch footy or whatever. But probably get into politics a bit. Actually, I like to follow a bit of Australian and US politics.
What's your most memorable moment and why?
In cutting? I don't know. It's a good one. That's a hard one. I'd probably say it might have been. I had a Pepto gelding that I trained for a client, really good friends of ours, that when I first came here, called Pepto Bar Oak. I had him as a 3-year-old. I made the limited and gelding incentive final on him as a 3-year-old, and that was really cool. And we won a novice later that year. But then I didn't get that horse back until he was 5. And when I got him back, he was a bit of a project to get going again. But within a few months, he was back to where I had him, which made me feel good about obviously the job I'd done on the horse initially. So then we went on and we made a couple of classic finals, one at North Star and one at Comet, and that's probably really rewarding to know that I'd trained one, he was good. Then I didn't have him for a while. Then I was able to bring him back to where he was decent again and make a couple of finals. And also we sold him to a lady that I think she won at her second cutting, like the second cutting she ever went to as well at Goomeri. She had a win on him. So, probably that.
And where would you like to travel to?
I'd just like going probably to North America. I'd probably like to go up into Canada, if I'm honest. That would be really good. Or go, I've been there, I went through there very briefly, but I'd like to go and spend a week or something in Nashville. That'd be pretty wicked.
Yep. And what would your advice be for new women and men getting into the sport of cutting?
There's a whole bunch of ways to do it, I guess, but I guess if depends what angle you're coming from. If you're an established person that's like most people, you got a job and a family or whatever, and you want to get into cutting, just for advice, go and find a Professional Cutting Horse Trainer Association accredited trainer and find a trained horse. It's like in anything, there's an initial investment. But if you make that initial investment, you will have a good experience because you'll get a good horse. That horse will teach you how to show. That horse will look after you when you make mistakes, which you will make, and that will flow on. Whereas if you try and look, and it might take you a while to get there. Like, there's different avenues. You might have a good little horse that you can go snaffle bit to begin with, but link up with a PCHTA trainer. And that doesn't mean you have to send them a horse. Most of them guys will give you advice for nothing, and they'll just help you. So link up with one of them. And if you were a young guy or girl that wanted to become a trainer, or maybe see if that was what floated your boat, you've got to go and work for one of those successful PCHTA trainers for be ready to work your ass off and not make much money and not get much sleep for 3 to 5 years, because that's how long it's going to take you to get any good.
Preparation and mentally and physically in any type of sport is important. What do you usually do prepare for an event the day of and throughout weeks prior?
It's a hard one in this sport because you got to work your horses. Like it's not like how they have like the footy and they have a captain's run, the day or 2 days before, and yeah, you've just got to work. But you know what, the biggest thing is be organised, I reckon. If you're going to do a show at the end of the week, make sure, I like to have everything right if I can. Make sure the truck's clean and the ute and the caravan, and make sure they're packed early, and make sure all the boots are rolled and clean, clean, and all the wraps are rolled, and saddles and saddle pads are low. Whatever you can have in there to make the last couple of days smooth, the better off you're going to be. Be organised. That's the best thing you can do, because then all you can do is just think about working and showing your horses, and also make sure you've got enough help on board. You get enough people preparing your horses, because you can't do it without them.
And cutting is a unique Western sports because you actually have a team when you are competing. Tell our viewers how many people you usually have on your team and the roles, and how important this is the day of a show and the routine day of to get help to get that end result that you want.
That's the coolest thing about our sport is you show, especially in the pro ranks, you show against all your peers, but they help you as well. So we obviously have four helpers in the show pen, but the people that are turning back for you in the practice pen or at home or preparing your horses and all that, that's all super important, but as well. But in that show situation, I just think you want to have people that first of all are capable. They can turn back well, and their horses are broken up, and what they do fits what you do, because we're all a bit different. Some of us like their cow whooped into us, some of us want it a bit steadier, because we're all whatever we're comfortable with. You pick people that fit you with what they're doing, and then pick the people that invest in you. Like, it's a good idea to have the people that help you, you're often helping them. That's a good way to be, because then it all goes around and you can all keep each other honest, I guess.
Now, Jackson, you've also learned a lot of the official side of the sport, where you're an NCHA judge, NCHA board member, chairman of the judges, and the NRCA vice president. Tell us about these roles and how to be an accredited judge helps when you're competing. Do you believe every competitor should learn these roles to be a better competitor? I'm actually not on the Northern Rivers Cutting Horse Club anymore. But that was really good. That was a good experience. But I still help those guys run that show out at North Star. The judging side of it, I really enjoy, because we get to benefit here from decades and decades and decades of investment and time by people in the US, and money, because they have a judging director over there. That's their full-time job. So they had poured a lot of resources into making a watertight rule book, which is what we have. There's next to no room for opinion in our judging. It's robotic. It is, there's a checklist of things that must be done, and then it's just, grade that cut, grade what they're doing on that cow. There's that much room for opinion, and that's what's good about it. And our good judges and the top guys and the guys that I want to back to do our aged events and are the ones that are up to date doing clinics. They're easy to communicate with. They take criticism well,
yeah, that's the beauty of our sport, is it's extremely, if it's done right, it's judged, it's adjudicated so fairly and so cleanly. And anybody, that's probably in my next, like somebody getting into the sport, one of the first things you've got to do is book yourself in to a judge's clinic and just attend. You don't have to become a judge, just go and work out, learn the rules.
And what's Jackson's advice in steps and training in next winter for all our up and coming trainers and also our viewers?
You start a horse early. Give yourself 2 years to get a futurity horse trained. Don't try and shortcut yourself or get caught up in some crackpot theory that, they've got to be this age or whatever. You can start a horse early if you're not doing anything dumb and you're not working the guts out of them. They'll be fine. So start early, give yourself the time, get a horse broke, and just don't sweat the little stuff. Like, go through. You've got to have on that horse what you're comfortable with. They've got to be broke to whatever they need to be broke to what you want, to what you can handle. To what makes you comfortable in a show situation. Their basics have to be as strong as you need them. But then you've just got to work a cow. Like, you've just got to keep teaching them to control a cow and hold a cow, and don't sweat all the little stuff. You can if they miss something, just keep working your cow. You can catch them next time. Just keep working your cow. Keep their timing good and their confidence good. Don't overwork them. Like, work them often, but don't overwork them. And one of the best bits of advice Dad said to me once was, when you work a horse, he says the show's on the weekend. So, like, what he meant by that was, it doesn't matter, you don't have to be going to a show on the weekend, but if you're working a 2-year-old or a breaker, or it doesn't matter what it is, or a 3-year-old or an old show horse, they don't have to be good until Friday, because you don't show them till Saturday. So, chip away, spend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday getting them up to that good level at the end of the week. Don't try and just go up and then make them stay there. Chip away at it, and then start again on Monday. If you do that, you'll find yourself in a lot less battles.
And what's your goals from here, and where will we see you compete at next?
Well, the short term is just depending on all this virus craziness. Just try and get to as many shows as we can with these 3-year-olds and get them out there. I've got cool little 3-year-olds, so give people a chance to see them and see them for the owners, to promote their bloodlines and their horses, but also so people can see the job I'm doing, and the horses are sound and they're healthy and they're confident, and so just get people to see them and hopefully they like them. And long term, it's just to generate a good business, a good few owners that like the job we do, like the way we care for our horses, and and the way we train them, and maintain those guys, keep them with us. Get owners that are happy with what we do, and they fairly consistently stick with us and develop a business, because that's success in the sport. Yes, you want to win everything, and I'm really competitive. Like, I really like to win, and I need to do a lot more of it. But it's not the be all and end all. The success in the sport long term is having, and from a professional level, is having a good base of clientele that trust you and like the job you do, and they back you, and you have that consistency, because that's what keeps you going. But also our program, we want to breed good horses ourselves, train them and sell them, because we feel like we have a good grasp on what a good horse is as well. So we enjoy that side of it. So, and I'd love to win something, win an aged event or something for Sunkiss. That'd be really good.
NCHA Futurity in the cards for a win there?
Oh, I don't know, mate. No, look, I haven't made the futurity final yet. I'm 31 and I've made the limited a few times in the gelding incentive, and plenty of derby finals and classic finals at other aged events. But so I'd just like to, like I said, I had a cool crew of horses. So if it all goes ahead, I'd just like to go and show them the best of their ability and see what happens. But there's plenty of guys with good horses, and so just show them. And if I do my job well, if the horses are confident and I do my job well, they're good enough to rock up and slip into a final. So see what happens.
And one of your cool results, you were finalist for the 2019 NCHA Breeders' Incentive Challenge finals on 2 different horses. What were these and these bloodlines?
One of them was Jimmy Fescue, which was that little Phalaris gelding that I trained out of Bitsy Jabalina. So he was one that, he was a really cool Tyrrell. He's probably the best horse I've started ever. And he was outstanding. And then on Christmas Eve 2015 must have been, because he was a 16 futurity horse, he colicked, had to have surgery, so he was in at West Vets forever. And I got on him, I think, a month before the futurity, and and he was just felt green, and he was pretty messed up, like locked up for 4 and 5 months. But we chipped away, and then to be able to make those classic finals on him. He turned into a good 4-year-old in the back half his 4-year-old year, and then he consistently won weekend money, but then he had to go and final him. We finalled him at Toowoomba in the classic, and then I guess 6 months later went and finalled him in the BI there. That was cool here. He was a really good horse, and a girl called Holly Guttison owns him now. She's from down in Orange. And the other horse was Metallic Rose, which was one Leachy trained for Barbara. I got her at the end of her 4-year-old year, and he did a great job training her. He was just a bit frustrated he wasn't getting the results he wanted on her, and he's like that. He's very honest. He's won, for a guy that's won what he has, he's very honest, and he just thought that a change would be good for her or whatever. So we were able to show her. And I did, it showed how good a job he did, because I was able to win money from the first show. I think I won $2.5 grand on it in the first 2 shows, and so it was cool to final her there. I should have won or got second in that thing. I messed up a cut. Like, she was outstanding in that run, had a really good first and second cow, and then I just buggered up in the 3rd cut, missed a cut, and so it was. That was probably a check and a buckle, or at least a red ribbon I should have had for Barbara that I buggered up. But I know that was fun.
And what's Jackson Gray's advice for competitors, men, women, children, advice with achieving success in Western sports or in life?
Well, I don't know. There's probably better people to ask than me, but I think, be responsible for your own decisions. Like, I think in the world there's a lot of people that like to blame someone else or the system or whatever for them not achieving what they want to achieve, and that's a slippery slope, because then that's how you end up. You never get what you want, and then you blame everybody else. So I think own your own decisions, right or wrong, because we all make good ones and bad ones. So, and I think, what it's sort of echoed in the in the equine world, or the Western performance horse world. You've got to own your own mistakes. Like, if you're breeding horses and you make the wrong call and you breed a bad horse, recognise it and quit doing it, and get on a better path. If there's something you're doing when you're training your horses and it's not working, recognise it, go and get some help and change. Don't just stay at home, fooling yourself, thinking you're going to get somewhere. You got to expose yourself constantly, and go to people and get help. Probably, just if you. I think Chris Dawson, that cow horse trainer in the States, he said Kathy Dawn used to always say, the key to a good horse trainer is self-reflection. So I thought that's probably pretty good advice.
Let's be successful. Western sporting events coming your way, and you can find more details on these social media pages. The Southern Cross Extreme Cowboy Racing has plenty of events for interest from Sunday the 2nd of August till the end of the year. The D7 NBHA Bow Racing Super Show has $2,000 added for the Open 4D with the Top 15 Shootout. The QBRA Finals will be on the 25th and 26th of September at Dolby. The Wandoan Rodeo on the 17th of October. The 27th of October till the 8th of November, the NCHA Futurity at Tamworth, New South Wales. The 21st till the 29th of November, the Darling Downs Cutting Club Futurity at Toowoomba. The New Zealand rodeo season isn't too far away. The 6th of December, the Martinborough Bull Ride. The South Island Christmas Rodeo Run. The 26th will be Millers Flat Rodeo. Then the 27th will be Maniatoto at Ranfurly. Then the 28th at Omarama. The 30th, the rodeo next to Lake at Tiarnell. The 1st of January, the rodeo next to the beach, Wakawaiiti. The 2nd of January, the Wanaka Rodeo. The 4th of January, the Canterbury Rodeo at the Mandeville Sports Ground. And Taroom Rodeo will be back on the 17th of July 2021. Thank you viewers for watching episode 7 of Letterbuck Pro Services Southern Western Trails. Please like and share the post, and also like my business page at Letterbuck Pro Services. Also a big thank you to all the businesses and organisations that have supported the show, and these businesses do support Western sports, so please support them by either liking, sharing their social media pages, or inquiring about their services or products. I hope you enjoyed hearing from pro cutting horse trainer Jackson Gray. The next episode will be uploaded to this page on the 20th of August at 7 p.m. Queensland, Australia time. Our next visit is with the rodeo champions and also husband and wife Pat and Liz O'Halloran. Episode 8 will be coming to you soon. Tell your friends and lock it in. Happy trails.